Welcome to the Inspiration Station hosted by Joshua Lenox, the place to fill up your tank if you're in need of encouragement and motivation.
Hey, y'all, it's that time. Once again, it's the Inspiration Station, y'all, with Joshua Lenox, where we do what? We upsize in 2025. Y'all better know it and you better believe it. I almost started to sing, hello, is it me you're looking for? Yeah, it is. It's Friday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Y'all already know what we do. I want to thank all of you also for, I've been seeing the shares out there. I've been seeing all of the interaction out there on social media. So I really appreciate that. I ask that you all continue to do so as this continues to grow and go further and further, onward and upward and higher and higher. So as y'all are coming in, let me know you're coming in, or from all the comments that I can see, let me know that you're here. Let me feel your presence. Let me know that you are present, and let me know how your day has been going so far, how your week. Y'all were in May. It is May the 2nd. Welcome to May. You know, I put out a reel the other morning, yesterday, y'all, because it was May 1st. And I said, you know what, with May coming, I said, we remember Mother May I growing up, Mother May I, yes, you may. You're asking for permission for something and hoping that you get that, yes, you may. And I said, you know what? I just hope that all the things we ask the Lord for in prayer and we petition Him for, that He just says, we say, Father, may I? And He says, yes, you may. So I'm receiving that for myself, and I hope that you all are as well, that we just start to see certain things shift in our lives that we are asking for, we're believing for, and we're trusting God with. Happy Friday over there. And also wanted to just say too, I know they say April showers bring May flowers, but y'all, it's been some showers on today here in Nashville, and I am over it already because I'm like, look, I am having to fight through, feeling a little sleepy, a little fatigued, working, going through work and stuff, but it's all good because even showers mean blessings that are coming. So that's what I'm going to say. So as y'all are coming in, we're going to get started in just a few minutes. I want to say too that make sure we are. I don't know why this has been something it's been resonating with me. Y'all, I say it every podcast, and I don't care if I'm getting on your nerves, deal with it. But I feel like the time is going by so fast. It's going quickly. And I was just speaking about how a woman told me when I was a kid in church. She said, come here. And I was like, yes, ma'am. She said, hear me when I tell you, live your life well. And I was like, okay. She said, do you hear what I'm saying to you? And I was like, yes, ma'am. She said, live your life well, because when you turn 21, it's going to go by really fast. Y'all, I just really thought, I think I may have been like 19. And at that time, I was just like, yeah, I'm smiling, saying yes, ma'am. But when I walked out of the church, I was like, that lady is crazy. She just saying that because she's closer to seeing Jesus than I am. But if I could have found that woman when I was about 24, 25, I would have bought her dinner or something and said, you spoke a word and you were right, because the time is flying. And here we are, 2025, y'all. And I believe that everything's just going to continue to not only just speed up in time, but speed up. Maybe some things are going to happen faster for you in your life that usually would take more time to get done or to accomplish or to attain in your life. So that's how I'm taking the speed. I'm taking that some things are going to happen a lot faster than what I thought. So as we're coming in, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and just jump in. As you come in, please make your presence known. I need to know that you're here and you're listening and you're ready and you're interacting. I love when you guys interact with me, and I hope that y'all did y'all's homework on the mask. It's not like I can see it, but I hope that you did from the last Friday that you did the mask homework. So but again, welcome to everyone who is here, anyone on any platform, whether it's YouTube, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, and later on to my listeners on Spotify, Audible, and also Amazon. Y'all, we coming with Apple. Just me and the producer, we're going to get together and go ahead and lock that in so we can have that as another avenue. They work so hard for me, and I really appreciate them. And again, we just been waiting because I needed to get that good old Apple ID. And so we're on track. But again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are all over this world, wheresoever you may be, and whatever time you're going to watch this or that you're going to listen to this, I want to just tell you welcome. If it's your first time, or if you've been here rocking it with me since we started just recently, not too long ago. And again, what is the Inspiration Station? I'm going to say this each time as we continue to get acclimated as to what the Inspiration Station is. The Inspiration Station is literally a nickname that I was given in 2012, and someone told me that they felt like I was like a radio station, or in a sense, or a station that sent out frequencies that people needed to hear, and that's like I knew exactly what people needed to hear. And again, I just really thought, okay, that's it's nice. I never thought about that. That's kind of, but I put it in my back pocket, not knowing that we'd be here with this today. But again, the inspiration station is not just about me. It is about all of you, because all of us are inspirations to other people, and probably, and actually more people than you realize. But you're also an inspiration to yourself. If you look back on every stage of your life, every phase of your life, there are moments you can actually reach back to and reflect on and gain inspiration today to get you moving forward. And that's the thing in here. We're not just talking about you being inspired, motivated, and encouraged just by what you hear, but also that it encourages you and it motivates you and inspires you to move, make change, get up and do something about what you hear. Don't just sit on it. Don't just, we can't just, this kind of maybe funny, but you can't just digest a meal and just keep sitting there. You're going to have to get up and make some movement so you can burn it off, right? I hope so. Let there be something for y'all who need to probably get on up from that table after you eat and take a walk or something like that. I know I have to. I have to do some type of movement. But anyway, we're not talking about me at the moment. But again, also what to expect on here is that, again, kind of mentioned about just us making movement towards change, whether those are major changes or small changes, because every small step is even a big step. Also, there will be some times, and let me really say, let me rewind myself for just a moment. I want to say happy Mental Health Awareness Month. That's what we're in May. I really, this is all to, I'm sending this out to all the people who are mental health professionals out there, including myself. This is so important. Sometimes mental health can be something that is somewhat taboo, and it's not something that's always spoken about, or some people may not dig deeper into it if they're not already seeking counsel or getting counseling or anything of that nature, and wanting to just know how to continue to keep themselves healthy in their mental health. So want to say shout out to everybody with that mental health awareness. What a wonderful time to celebrate in this month, but also to be something that's celebrated all the time. And I think it actually has heightened since the pandemic, with people knowing how important it is to see about not just their physical health, but also their mental health, and how also they both relate. But that's another day, another time. But also on the inspiration station, there will be people coming on that I will be interviewing and talking with, chatting with, laughing with. I actually going to have some people coming up very soon, especially with this being mental health awareness. But there'll be also people who are coming on here that you might not have ever heard of, never know, but you're going to get to know them and you're going to connect with them. Also, people that you may have admired or been influenced by for years, or who's to say, just at any point in time in your life, that will be on here on the Inspiration Station. Because again, y'all, all of our stories matter. There was something that Dr. Rahman said last week. I cannot remember it at the moment, but it was so impactful. He was on LinkedIn. But he spoke something about our stories are something. Or I think it said it's strengthen our stories. I hope that's right. I think it said it's strengthen our stories. I think that's right, y'all. So we all need each other's story. The Bible even says that they were overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. So we need to talk about where we come from and where we are right now, because that encourages the next person, right? Can't hold all of those nuggets of wisdom and in yourself, within yourself, and we need to share as much as possible as we can. Well, I'm going to just go ahead and jump into today's topic. I'm excited about it. I hope you all are excited about it, us to get fed a quick nugget to take us over into the weekend and until the next time we meet on Friday of next week at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Y'all, I'm starting to feel like I sound like a DJ or something, like I'm about to say, announce the next song or something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's something that's coming up at some point too. But anyhow, on today, the title is going to be That Was Recognition, Not Regression. That was recognition, not regression. Now, before I jump into that title and things that's going to be, I don't think we should be that long because I'm going to be right to the point. And with all this rain, y'all know I like to go walk, and the sun is not too far out, but want to get out there and move around just a little bit before it's dark outside. So, do y'all remember the See and Say? How many people remember the toy, the See and Say? If you remember, you can either comment or just say to yourself, I remember. But the See and Say, what the See and Say is actually, it was a toy it's an educational toy that was created by Mattel in 1964. And it was a talking toy to help you identify what you hear and have the ability to speak what it is. You are able to, you hear something and now you can identify what that sound is. I remember as a kid, having one, and I know you pull the little handle and the thing goes around and it will go to a certain, the one I had was for animals. So again, I learned what a dog sound like, I learned what a chicken sound like, I learned what a cow sound like, I learned what a lion sound like, and I mean the list can go. I learned what a monkey sound like, and you just keep going on. So again, with the See and Say, once I could hear it, I could identify what it was. So if I heard a roof, of course I could identify that's a dog. And y'all get the point. I'm not going to keep explaining this because I think we're all highly intelligent people who can easily get that right. So, what is regression? Regression is literally returning. It's defined as returning to a former, well, let me say this. It's one definition of returning to a former or less developed state. The second definition is a return to a previous and less advanced or worse state, condition, or way of behaving. Again, regression is returning to a former or less developed state. Second definition is a return to a previous and less advanced or worse state, condition, or way of behaving. What in the world is recognition? Recognition is just simply identification of someone or something or a person. That's the same thing. Oh, wait. Sorry, y'all. Excuse me. It's the identification of someone or something or a person from previous encounters or knowledge. Identification of someone or something or a person from some previous encounters or knowledge. So something that I can, if I can recognize it, going back to the See and Say, I can recognize it because I've heard this before and now I know what that is. I've seen this before and now I know what that is. Regression might mean that I take some steps backwards to a state that I used to be in or a place in my life I used to be in. So really quick, I want to say sometimes when we think about going backwards, we tend to beat ourselves up so bad. You might have, I'll give you an example, some examples of regression. And please feel free if you have some examples of regression, which again, again, that's returning to a former or less developed state, or just in simple terms, where you go backwards. You go backwards from where you were. Or you might take some, I'll say we take some steps backwards. Maybe not that I've gone backwards, but I've taken some steps backwards in a certain area of my life. Examples of regression, please feel free to flood the comments with that. But we could think about it. Examples of regression could be certain behaviors, certain thought patterns, certain actions. Maybe it's stress eating. Maybe it's abuse. Maybe it's any type of unhealthy habits. Maybe it's settling in relationships, negative self talk, impulsivity, procrastinating, or even cowering down. I think about it if we talk about recognition and regression, that again, that was recognition, not regression. What does that even mean? I may actually not be going backwards this time, or I may have made the same mistake, but at the same time, I may not be in the same position as I was before because now I recognize what it is because I've seen this before and I've heard this before. We think about procrastination and say, well, what does procrastination sound like? Maybe procrastination sounds like hearing yourself say, oh, I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm gonna get to it. Okay. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna set out. I'm gonna set an alarm, and I'm gonna burn the midnight oil. I'm gonna get it all done. So I know when I start to speak that way, I'm recognizing, that's procrastination. Maybe what I see and I can identify is that I'm starting to see my to-do list build up. I'm starting to see things pile up on my desk. Whatever that might be, I can recognize it. So I know what it is. So is that really regression? Maybe not, because now I can really recognize what it is. What's another example? And I look at this also in a form of maybe you are, we'll say friendships, dating, any type of relationship where maybe that you have dealt with people in the past who are highly manipulative. Well, because of that, you may spot that a mile away. You can probably see that person and say, I know they're manipulative. I can see it. It's on the way they walking can tell me that they're manipulative, or the way that they're speaking to me. So going back to this See and Say, I hear how this person is speaking to me. I hear certain patterns. I'm recognizing things that are familiar to me. So, yeah, I can already tell with this. So now I recognize this. So maybe you're dating somebody and you know that they're starting to sound like something you're used to. So therefore, I'm recognizing it, but I might not need to beat myself up to say, see, here you go again. You done met somebody else. It's the same type of person. So now you didn't, yeah, what were you thinking? Did you not learn your lesson? It's like, well, no, maybe this time I recognize this a lot sooner than I did before. So now I can pivot. That can be with anything, y'all. We think about a job. You go to a job, they offer you the job, and maybe you sit in the interview, and something about you just feels a little uneasy about the person and what they're telling you they're going to offer you, and you're like, I've been told all of this stuff before, and I got a job, and that ended up I got hired, and none of that happened. But it's something you might pick up on. I'm not saying this is always the case. I'm just using this as a very a small example. But because you recognize this, it's like, okay, I don't know if I'm gonna be if I'm so sure about this job. Even if I take the job and then I'm working it for a while, then I'm like, see, I'm back in the same position. See, I knew they working me like a dog and I'm not getting paid more or whatever it is. Now that I've recognized that from the past, that doesn't mean that I failed. That doesn't mean that I have regressed and gone backwards. That just means I can get this a lot quicker. Some of y'all just right now while you're thinking, think about some things in your life that you have been exposed to, and because you've been exposed to it maybe multiple times, you can recognize it sooner than before. Now for me, I'm gonna put myself on not chopping block. We're not doing that. I'm gonna put the spotlight on myself for just a moment. But I remember growing up, I thought everybody was great, amazing, good. I only saw the good in people. I mean, even though Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles probably could see the red flags or the unhealthy habits about somebody, I didn't. Everything was good about somebody. Everybody was lovable. Everybody was my friend. I used to come home. I remember telling my mom all the time, "Mama, my friend, my friend, my friend," and she's like, "Baby, all of them people are not your friend." I'm like, "Yes, they are, Mama. They really," and you couldn't tell me any different. Even growing up into a young adult, I still would see everybody is so good. Oh, don't say that about them. They just probably this, that. And I would have excuses, a list of excuses for them, and want to make sure I painted them the best picture of them. So when I started to get hurt tremendously by certain different types of people or types of personalities, I started to learn. I started to gain wisdom. So sometimes getting into certain friendships, even being in a romantic relationship, in joining clubs, being a part of organizations, jobs, whatever it is, certain experiences I have had prior, I was able to have a deeper recognition of stuff, and it gave me wisdom. However, I wasn't moving so fast at first, of course, because I'm like, okay, I can't go from one extreme to the other where I'm so thinking everybody's so great and I'm so green to now everybody's evil. It's like, no, I kind of got to test people and see things as I continue to grow. So, but because I can recognize this, some of these things don't have to go any further, don't have to go further than they have to. I don't know why this jumped on me, not jumped on me, but something I want to think about too is another example is that what if you are deciding to work, you want to work out, you want to get in shape, you want to be healthier, and you find yourself, you've been going to the gym hard for sometimes we start the beginning of the year and everybody's like, I'm in the gym, I'm going hard, this is my year, I'm about to have the best body I've ever had in my life. And by the second week, you slacking off. You went from going 5 days a week for those 2 weeks, and then third week comes around and it's like, I'm gonna go Tuesday and Thursday. And it's like in that moment, maybe because this is happened, if it's happened before, we're just gonna say this has happened before. It's like, okay, at this point, what's going on with me that I gotten away from having such a drive and determination to work out? Is it because am I becoming stressed? Am I getting distracted? Am I speaking negatively about myself? Am I thinking that am I wanting to give up because I'm thinking about the how long it's going to take me to get the results that I want? Am I whatever it could be, whatever that situation might be? Being able to recognize it is only going to allow you to be empowered to get it should be able to give you that much more momentum to get back to it once you take the power back of saying, okay, I know why I'm doing this, and I know what caused me to get off track, so let me jump back in, because now that I know that, let me combat whatever that is. Why I want to bring that up too, y'all. We're almost done. I told you it's going to be a little quicker tonight, but everybody knows Michael Jackson. I know, and y'all have heard me mention his name multiple times on this platform already, and I'm going to continue. You want to be starting something? Because you don't want to do it, because you better beat it, because Billie Jean is not my lover, okay? If you remember the time when we were off the wall, it was a thriller. And this is not a black or white situation. But anyway, that was good, y'all. Y'all could clap, y'all could laugh. It's okay. I know that was good, though. That was just genius. It's a gift. I can't help it. But anyway, think about the moonwalk. When Michael Jackson did the moonwalk, it was only for a moment, only for a few seconds, actually. And then after he went backwards for just a few seconds, he went right back forward and right in regular motion. So something that I like to call the moonwalk syndrome. I use this with my clients a lot, and I have for years. Um, I believe in a lot of our lives. Sometimes we think when we are quote unquote taking steps backwards from where we were, we immediately beat ourselves up, and it's like, see, I was progressing, I was doing so good. Now I'm just going backwards. It's like, well, what if you're actually not going backwards, or what if it's just an illusion of you going backwards? Because that moonwalk was like an illusion when Michael did it. But what if I look at this as saying, okay, I have gone backwards, but it's only for a few moments, and it actually gives me a chance to sit and say, okay, how did I get here? How did I get back here? Because now my view is still forward, so I can see where I just came from. So this gives me the chance to go back to where I just came from and continue to move forward. Are y'all getting that? The moonwalk. You moonwalk, you might take some steps backwards. We can use diet, where you say, you know what? I'm about to get my diet together. I'm going to start eating clean. So you might have started eating grilled chicken and trying to eat your vegetables, fresh vegetables, having fresh fruit and things of that nature, drinking your water. And then one night you're like, oh, I really want a pizza. I want a stuffed crust pizza, and I want it now. And I want a large Coke. I want about 20 wings just to myself. And I think I want like a key lime pie with that. That would be so good. But I've been doing so good on this diet. And then you take that good old moonwalk and you get exactly what all the food that I just named. You go get that. And then it's like, okay, I've taken a moonwalk. And it's like, well, what got me to that place? Maybe I got stressed. Maybe something happened at work. Maybe something's going on in my family. Maybe it's something I'm suppressing that I'm not talking about. Maybe I don't do well with sadness. Maybe I don't do well with fear. Maybe I'm afraid of something, or I'm anxious about something. Whatever that is, if I can recognize, how did I get back to this place? And also, why was I eating clean in the first place? What was my goal with that? What was I trying to achieve? If I can recognize what triggered me or what got me to that place, that means I can take power back over that. And once I recognize it, now I can look forward and say, okay, let me get on back up to where I was. Let me go back forward, and I'm gonna get back into the place I was, so that I can continue to even move beyond that. I hope that all of this is making sense to y'all. It's definitely making sense to me as I'm talking to you, because I think I'm talking to myself. All of us have places in our lives where we might take that good old moonwalk. And again, what do I need in place? Do I need reminders as to why I'm doing what I'm doing, or why I'm even setting out to do something? Do I need an accountability partner? It doesn't hurt to, and again, as we say on the inspiration station, this is not just a place for you to learn how to be more open, honest, and vulnerable with others, but also open, honest, and vulnerable with yourself, admitting to yourself, okay, I got off track. Maybe I need somebody who I know is going to be, I can be open, honest, and vulnerable to, that I trust, to help me remain accountable. Maybe you need to set alarms on your phone. Maybe you need to put stuff up on the wall, quotes or things of that nature. Maybe you need to put certain vision boards, things like that. I have one that I'm looking right across from right now that I've had access since 2015, y'all. And I prayed over that thing. I said, look, I'm not about to make some vision board and keep making vision boards every year. God, let this be something that takes me from now on till several years. But let this be something that's purposeful. So when I look at it, I'm reminded as to why I need to be going after the things that I desire. And have I gone backwards and done a moonwalk on some of the stuff I've seen up there? I have, definitely. But then reminding myself again, why am I doing this in the first place? And then also, what's caused me to go backwards? So I think, again, we talk about recognition, not regression. You're not failing. You're not going backwards. You're not stopping. You're not stunned. Just recognize, how did I get to this place and how do I get right back to where I was so that I can go even further than before. I always say this too. I'm almost done, you guys. Thank you for hanging in here with me. I hope that all of you are going to be sharing this out as much as possible, y'all. We need to let people know to recognize, know that we have recognition and we're not regressing. We can recognize what in the first place is causing us to kind of take a few steps back, then we can be empowered to go back forward. And we know that we're not regressing in our lives. We're still progressing. Just as much as I think it's an illustration on a thing where it says, if you want to know what success looks like, it's not some straight line. Sometimes it's going to be forward, backwards, side, squiggle line, or whatever it is, but you're still going towards whatever that is you're after and you're trying to achieve. Leave space for grace in your life. Leave space for grace. Some things are just going to take time to continue to work out. Think about, like, I'll give you a quick example. Ice cream. If somebody in the world, they told us that vanilla is the most healthiest ice cream, that's the healthiest ice cream. And if you have chocolate, that's the most unhealthy ice cream. You might see something that's like you going from, you have all chocolate in your bowl, but then now maybe we're starting to see a little vanilla. We're seeing sprinkles of vanilla. Then maybe some months or so pass by, and we're starting to see actually a little bit more of vanilla in there with the chocolate. Maybe a year or so has passed, and now you got the swirl. you got a little bit of a balance of the chocolate and the vanilla in there. But as time continues to pass on, my point is you'll see more vanilla than chocolate. So again, give yourself space for grace. Some of the stuff that you are dealing with in your life, or this back, forth, and forth, whatever that you're doing, you didn't get here by yourself, and it wasn't overnight. So it's not going to be overnight for you to unravel and release some of those things off of you, or also continue to become a healthier version of you. It's not going to happen instantaneously, but to have the audacity to change the way you do things, change the way you see things, change the way you say things, change the way you hear things, is going to make all the difference. So, y'all, that's all I have for you on tonight. I hope that you all have enjoyed what we have talked about. Again, going back to that see and say toy, you hear certain things, so you're able to identify it. Also, think about, what does that mean to you? What do you start saying when you're starting to go take some steps back in your life? And again, remembering, taking steps back doesn't mean that I'm not progressing. I'm not regressing either. I'm still progressing. I'm not regressing. I'm just taking some steps back so that I can take an evaluation and assess, how did you get here? Why are we back in this place? Okay, now that I know that, let's get on back where we were and let's move beyond that point. So I hope that all of you all are having an amazing Friday so far, and I hope that you have an even greater evening and a wonderful weekend, safe weekend. I'm looking forward to seeing you all again on next Friday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Y'all, we're not regressing. You're not going backwards. So stop beating yourself up and saying, "Oh, my life is just falling apart. I just keep going further and further being behind. I'm behind schedule." No, you're not. You're progressing. But at the same time, sit sometimes with yourself and say, "Hey, how did you get here? And what do we do to get beyond this?" Again, how do I remind myself of where I'm trying to go? Do I need an accountability partner? Do I need to go to therapy? It's nothing unhealthy about going to talk to somebody have somebody hold space for you to help you to heal. Do I need a life coach? Do I need to join community in some way? Do I need to start to work on my self-care? Do I need to set some boundaries for my life? Do I need to start asking for what I need? Do I need to start being a little bit more assertive, not just with others, but with myself? Do I need to be more disciplined? Whatever it is, think about those certain steps that you could be taking, or the things that you can implement in your life to get you back on track, because you never were off track. You just been sitting at the train station a little too long. You're not off track. You just may have been sitting at the train station too long. So I don't know why I thought about Shining Time Station when I said that. Y'all remember that? Anyway, I hope that you all, again, are well, are blessed, are kept. because you are. You always have been, and you will continue to be. Spread this message, y'all. Continue to share as much as possible. I love each and every one of you all. You've always been great. You're just getting better. Say it to yourself each and every day if you have to remind yourself, I've always been great. I'm just getting better. And also, I'm not regressing. I've taken some steps back, but I'm still making progress. You just may not be mindful of it each and every day. Talk to y'all soon. You ain't got to go, but you got to get out of here because I'm out. Bye.
Thanks for watching The Inspiration Station with Joshua Lenox. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.